Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Recipe for Adventure. I'm Freebie Woods, your host, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Sai. Sai, hello?
I'm noting the fact that it's no longer just friend anymore.
Uh,
I'm wondering if there's a shift in our relationship that I haven't been aware of yet.
no, we're still friends. I promise we're still friends. Your friendship means so much to me that I'm horrified by the idea of you not considering us friends anymore, if that helps alleviate that.
Good. Because I'd be very worried too, because I'm like, wait. We're good friends. Why has it changed?
No,
Why has it changed from friends, good friends to co-host?
we're still good friends. We're still. Are you like? I could just imagine you going back through the videos. Like, wait, hang on. It's like
When did it
episode.
start?
It's like episode 1 to 10, good friends, and 11 to 20, friend, and then it's dropping off. It's like slowly. It's like, wait, what the? No, you are still my good friend. To be clear, Jesus. Oh. I don't know why that affected me more than I thought it would. Okay. Alright. So as usual, I do have a question for you.
Yep.
If a person who had never played D&D before joins you to play D&D, what class would you recommend they play? And let's ignore for a moment the nuanced answer of letting them play what they're most enthusiastic about, because the more enthusiastic about something, the more, let's say, motivated you are to learn the mechanics. Let's just say this person literally has no idea where to begin, and they go up to you and say, hey, can you help me build the character? I have no idea where to begin. What would you do?
So I'm gonna ask for a couple of stipulations just before we start. Are we assuming like level 1 character?
We can say level 1 character, sure.
Okay. Because normally when it comes to like something like this, I will normally push someone towards, say, a fighter, because they are the easiest to learn and understand. You
Mechanically
have big sword
speaking, the
hit,
most
yeah,
simple. Yeah.
the mechanically most simple. Now, on one eye, it's like that's a good answer, but on the other hand, one thing I like to do is I like to give them something that's simple, but with like one or two things they can do extra.
Okay. Situational stuff and like build encounters around those extra things.
Well, so for example, if it's level 3, I would suggest once again fighter,
Yeah.
and it'd be like battle master.
Okay.
And so it's like you can do regular stuff, but every now and again you can use one of these little maneuvers.
Make your allies hit more often, reposition, trip an enemy, that sort of thing.
Yeah, give them a couple of little extra things that they can do. So fighter is like a good just start off. Be like your fun flavor is like what kind of weapon you want to use, right? Do you want to be like a huge warrior with like a huge axe or a hammer, or maybe someone who like dual wields like axes or like daggers or something, and kind of because when you're first playing, you want your character to be someone that you can kind of latch onto and be memorable.
Oh yeah.
And for some people, fighter isn't often enough. I think like so you got to really emphasize like how they get the cool stuff. So a good one that I might like do sometimes would be I would potentially also recommend, say, a monk or a barbarian, because they do pretty much the same thing as a fighter early on,
but they have
which is
other
just hit things.
options added on
But
top.
they have an extra little resource. Now monks bonus resource doesn't come around to like level 2 technically with key of all things, but they have that little bonus action punch.
A little extra martial arts. Yeah.
Yeah, and so like the damage isn't high, but there's that little bit of like, at a moment at level 1, you get to just do one little bonus action punch. But at level 2, you get a resource and you can potentially do 2 little bonus action punches. And so that gives them a little bit of a, here's something pretty simple, and here's a little hook to look forward to. And a monk doesn't have to start by punching.
Mm-mm.
A monk can start with like a short sword or a quarterstaff or something.
Mm-mm.
A barbarian doesn't have to be, two-handed sword or axe. They can technically be like mace and shield.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, so I would suggest, like, it's a little bit of a cop-out answer, but I would go martial character with the idea of kind of emphasizing what they get in the future.
No, I like that. I like that answer. And so much so that for the longest time, that would be also the answer I gave. That said, after coming up with this question, I've decided to think about it and think how I can improve, but more importantly, subvert the answer. And my answer is Warlock, because it is one of the few classes in the game where you can almost backseat a player, like give them guidance in character.
So I didn't want to answer Warlock for that very reason.
It's like I suppose it depends on the
Yeah.
player. Like if someone
Well,
wants to be independent,
I mean, like, no, I didn't want to answer Warlock because I figured if there's anything that you are going to answer, it's going to be Warlock.
fair enough. Like they have spell casting, but it's very limited, so they're not overwhelmed
Yep.
with choices. And of course, I can give them their own little quest, like, "Hey, I'm Winterfey McFayface," or something like that. Do this little thing for me, or "Hey, I'm Devilish McGee. You sold your soul, and you got to do this stuff for me now," etc., etc. And I feel like that sort of thing, and this comes from a sort of like video gamey sort of point of view. A lot of people who get into D&D and for the first time haven't played D&D or TTRPGs, but they have played video games, so they most likely have some level of main character syndrome, even though it's not intentional. So if I do something like that, it's like, hey, you have this main character background thing where I've got your soul, or you've got to listen to me. Because I feel like Warlock and that sort of backstory is very video game protagonist coded. Would you agree with that?
I could agree with that somewhat. I would also accept the answer. Warlock is like the very unique class to D&D. Like you go to say like Pathfinder 2E,
Oh,
and
I see what you're getting
you're not
at.
going to find the Warlock. You'll find like say a witch or something,
I suppose, like,
or a Magus, but not the Warlock.
I
The
suppose,
Warlock is very D&D coded
I
in how it
suppose,
functions.
yeah. I suppose if you go to like Final Fantasy and play a warlock, it's very different to how the warlock in D&D works. Then,
Yes, they're very like the D&D Warlock is very unique and very special because of that.
Mm-mm-mm.
And as you mentioned, the prospect of a patron allows you to, you know, guide the player a little bit to a little invisible voice in their head.
Bit more hands-on in
Yeah,
character. Yeah.
and
Now,
can guide them.
I'm not sure how much a new player would appreciate that level of control. Like,
No, you
so,
you, you you play pretty simple. I think the best way is being like, hey, your patron has given you power,
but they expect
and in
this in return.
turn, they want this in return. And
Mm-mm.
that way you can help be like you can play whatever type of character you want with whatever motivations or goals you want,
Mm-mm.
but your patron wants this.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's up to you whether you're happy with that or not.
Oh, I didn't even think of it that way. I thought as like a backseat gamer more negatively, more literally. But like the way you're phrasing it is like, yeah, fight your patron, which
Well, that's that like on our Wednesday game, we have someone
who
who
does that
has
quite literally, yeah.
has a hostile relationship with their patron, which is bubbling up to a point, and I'm fairly sure it's already been established earlier on that when their player came to me with the idea for their warlock, because it's a very long campaign, they said, "Hey, Di, I want a patron, and I want to potentially be able to fight my patron later
Oh.
on if we get to that point."
I can see how the arc is going that we'd get to that point, but other D&D games aside, and I like let's get on to this one. So we're on to the 12th room.
Yes.
So we've got Sasha the Burning Ember, CR6 version,
I think, thinking about it logically, we probably shouldn't make her CR6.
Oh, what do you think we should make her?
Like I think like CR3 as an aim is probably better
CR
because there's a
three.
because mages as a solo boss is always risky.
No, I think I see where you're going with this because either she gets initiative and blows everyone up, or they.
Yep. Or everyone just gangs up on her and just shreds her. Whereas if she is a somewhat stronger version of herself with allies, it's a bit easier to have the fight feel a bit more boss fighty. And more importantly, we plan to put Sasha with Giovanni, Wolf, and Vodos as their own little
Party.
counter adventure party, right?
Right. So we want them relatively on the
Relatively
same.
same power.
So
Yes.
okay, so we'll rename
Uh,
her to CR3 then, I guess.
Yeah, I think CR3 is probably the high end of where I'd want to go.
Okay. Oh, you've already done that. Okay. So let's see what mechanically we want to throw at them. Would she still have level 3 spells then, or no?
So, we like CR how it balances out. Always a bit of a fun thing. I think up to CR up to third level spells, I think we'll be fine.
Okay, okay. So we're still okay there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, because like I still like the idea of her using the uh potentially being the one who set up the rune, the glyph.
Do we want to give her more intelligence? Like every time the players run into
Oh,
her, she gets smarter, and that's
well, I'm planning to buff these stats out a bit. Yeah.
okay, okay, okay.
So first off, I want to give her a little bit of dex. I'm going to bump her up to 14.
Mm-mm-mm.
Just the acknowledgement of I should probably learn how to dodge things,
Yeah,
and
that.
I'm going to bump her intelligence up to 16, and I'm going to bump up Constitution and Wisdom to 11.
Mm-mm. Ooh, you know what?
Halfway.
I'll have her say something. You're the one. I'll have her say when the players enter. Wait, who are you? Wait, it's like no. She'll like, who are you? Wait, you're the sheep people.
I love that because I could just imagine just being referred to as that is
The sheep
I would
people.
almost start taking emotional damage, also known as psychic damage from it.
It's not even intentional. It's just how she remembers
Yeah,
the players.
yeah. Okay. Um, she's now.
Oh, not even say wait. Should be something like it's like I told you to hold the perimeter and hang on. Who are you? Wait, you're the sheep people. There we go. There we go. So she thinks it's like her fellow bandit. She does not expect the players to be here at all. Which is why, I'm gonna put it down. Even if the players do not approach stealthily, Sasha will still not expect them, thinking that they are fellow bandit gang members. There we go. So I like the idea of like Sasha's just really that arrogant. And like it's just the way she is.
Yeah.
Of course, she's got to have a fireball, obviously.
So like that is the big question at the moment, right? It's like she would at least be down one spell slot. It's like one cast of fireball. Is that a bit too dangerous at level 4?
How much damage does a fireball do?
A fireball will usually do 8d6.
So, like, alright.
If I just click it and chuck it in, 31 damage.
That's a pretty decently
That's
high roll,
it,
though.
it's a good roll, but the problem is that is a roll.
That is a potential. Okay, so like fighters are on the higher end of hit points, so let's just say 14 Constitution at level 4. They'll have, let's see, 12 plus uh 7, 21, 30 something. Yeah, okay, so most
Yeah,
of the hit
it's like
points are gone.
yeah, it's like that's a potential one shot. Um,
How about making it
so,
so she doesn't want to use a big giant AoE um, down
well,
here?
actually, considering the size of a fireball, it could be a bit dangerous.
Yeah, yeah. What's the AoE on a fireball? Range 150
20-foot
feet,
radius. Yeah.
20-foot radius. Okay. So circle. So 20-foot radius. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some extra details to the room.
So I have a couple of ways to alleviate the fireball
Oh,
problem as well.
okay. What are you thinking of?
Well, the party have been trekking through a lot of water by this point,
Yeah.
and I'd be willing to say that the first fire spell that hits them, they have resistance to.
Mm, I would. Being wet and being hit on fire, it just depends. Like, because that could
Yeah,
backfire horrifically. I've seen. Um.
because that is one solution. My other is we just don't give her fireball because Glyph of Warding is a spell that can cause an explode like fire instead.
mm,
So the explosive runes, you can basically put one of them down, and it can do 5d8 fire damage. And so that's how she gets her Burning Ember still, in terms of level 3 spell.
mm. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna set up a little tent down here, and it's gonna be her personal tent.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And here's my idea, right? She can't actually get up the stairs because there's a force field in front of it that she's trying to disable. So, like, say, wall of force. Do they have something for wall of force, or can we just draw it in? You think?
As in like something to put on the map. Ooh.
Yeah, and that's the reason why she and the rest of the bandits haven't gone up yet, but the Chain Devil has on their own. Uh, let's see. Let me try this. Glass window. You know what? I'm just gonna draw a little square, rectangle. Let's just say
Yeah,
light blue.
that might just be the best way to do it. Easiest way to
Okay.
represent it.
All right. So I think a way to do it is that she's preparing a bunch of rituals around the room to destabilize and basically use Arcana to dispel the thing.
Ooh,
Um,
let me just check. No magic. Can dispel magic be a ritual cast?
I'm assuming it can be.
No, it can't. Unfortunately.
Is there something equivalent to dispel magic that can be ritual classed or takes a long time to uh, set up?
Oh, let me go consult the ancient text. See if I can find out some way to find that out.
I mean, we could just make it Sasha's dispelling.
Just like its own special, like you know, like devilish variant, right?
Yeah, yeah. So okay, so open character sheet. I'll make it now. So I
Mm-hmm.
will just add. Oh, hang on. No, that's not what I. Okay. I probably want to make it a level 2 spell, honestly. How
Well,
do
you don't
I?
have to make it. You don't have to make it spell. You can just say it's a ritual.
Okay, so I'll just say name Sasha's dispelling ritual, and we'll say Sasha creates magical circles. Okay, wait. Sasha can dispel any ongoing magic effects using what's the word? Hellish circles? Using hellish circles. I'm trying to think of the mechanical way of saying it.
Runes,
Using
hellish
hellish
circles, and
runic
runes.
circles. Runic
Yeah,
circles. Using the amount of circles required equal the spell's level. The spell's what's the word? Spells save
well,
DC.
no, you could say spell level.
Spells
Wall of
level.
Force is a 5th level spell, for example.
Okay.
So you would need 5 of these circles
Yep.
to theoretically disrupt it.
Each circle requires 10 minutes to set up. Must be 30 feet from the ongoing spell effect, and each other circle. Each circle also requires a blood sacrifice, in brackets death, of a creature. So it can just be a chicken or something like that, but it takes 10 minutes for each one. So, we can even say 15 minutes. No, 10 minutes is fine.
Yeah, this will be more of like flavor. We could tell the players if they make a good Arcana check on what's going on.
Yeah. So the idea is he's got all these circles around,
Yep.
and she does not want to blow them
Want to
up
blow it up.
because she
Yep.
already put so much work into them.
Yep.
So
Cool. I like that because that allows us to use Fireball on her later.
And of course, if she gets desperate enough, it still lets her use Fireball in this very same
Yep.
fight. It just depends. Hello, gang members. Okay. Despite having the Fireball spell, Sasha will be very reluctant to use it, as she's worried that they might disrupt her ritual circles, her magical circles, her runic circles, hellish runic circles. My gosh. There
It's
we go.
okay. You'll make it eventually.
There we go. So she's got 4 of them. And yep, she's just trying to ensure they don't get blown up. So let me just get the ruler again. So 20 feet, is it? The fireball?
20 feet radius, yeah.
That doesn't look right. Hang on. Do I've got it? Measure origin, edge. Yep, that's still good.
No, it's radius, not diameter.
Oh. My bad. Okay, yeah, so she basically can't use it anywhere in this room without, like the players will either not be there or the circles are, and she'll like, no, stop it.
Yep. Cool. I like that. That's a good way for us to prevent the potential insta-kill of the party unless she gets ultra desperate.
I like to think, like, eventually she'll be able to teach, like, if the players like threaten her enough or ally with her enough, like by the end game, she can teach the players how to use this thing.
Maybe. If they're willing to learn hellish magics.
Yeah. And she can even have this even if she doesn't have, like, even if she hasn't been killed. Because, like, it's part of her contract with the devils.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so I think that's a pretty good boss fight for her. She'll fight, she'll cast spells. Oh,
well, I think we should also give her some
minions?
some minions, yes.
I'm thinking instead of bandits, we throw imps at the players.
Cool. I'd be happy with, like, some basic imps. Like 3 or 4.
Would you like to throw the imps onto a thing? Because you know what? I'm going to add one more mechanic to the Sasha's Dispelling Ritual.
I'll get that in a little sec. I'm just putting a couple of things onto Sasha as well in terms of spells.
I'll say each circle requires 15 minutes of setup. This time can be reduced by 1 minute for each creature helping, in brackets, up to 5 minutes for each circle. So maybe she's getting the imps to help her set up these circles.
Yeah.
So we can probably throw 5 imps in there. And they're pretty, relatively speaking, weak compared to the party at this point. That the players will feel
they are
like
still
that.
dangerous, though.
Oh yeah, of course. Like
imp poison can do some good damage if you get stabbed by their little poisonous tails.
I guess so. Yeah, 3d6 is pretty good.
But you will get the chance to rest after this.
So they've got the little wall of force. I should mention that. Before the stairs stand the burning ember, yada yada. Circle. There is also a wall of force in front of the stairs that will disappear once Sasha is defeated. There we go. Alright, I think we can move on to room 13, but before we do that, I've got to put the red dot in there.
Yep, you can just copy and paste the red dot.
Why won't it let me move you? Hang on. It won't let me move the red dot for some reason. There we go. I got it.
Okay.
Oh, and I should move this to the GM layer. Oh, in fact, most of these layer, GM layer, GM layer.
I'm doing some of them as well.
Layer, GM layer. That's embarrassing.
So good. So good.
GM layer. Both of you belong on the GM layer.
There you go.
Okay, I think we got all of them. Beautiful. All right, let's move on to room... Oh, we've already done room 13. 14, I guess.
Well, no. We said we wanted 13 to be a trap room.
Oh, we haven't actually...
We never specified exactly how.
Gotcha. Understood. All right, so 13 is definitely a trap room. It is a Bellu.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was thinking for this room.
So, if it's not obvious by the map, there is obviously a centerpiece in this area.
Yeah, no, I definitely see it.
Something on the ground. I like the idea of it being
related to
like
that.
Part of me is like, my initial thoughts was like, it's like a small fountain or something, or like a small little centerpiece built into the floor.
Yep.
With the idea of it, mostly being decorative.
Are you thinking like turning this into an unintentional trap? Like, whereas,
No, I'm thinking of it being an actual trap
oh,
with the
like
idea of
it was
it
designed
is
to
a
be a
set.
trap from day one.
Yeah, it is both an art piece and a trap if need be.
Okay, a little bit of defense for the palace. Okay, so
Yeah.
what are you thinking? Like,
I'm thinking like one of those like because like it's very circular in design, and so I had some thoughts of like like Tesla coils.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, with the idea that like, the center of the fountain has like a nice copper, and if need be, it can turn on and spark out electricity.
Mm. In the middle of the room is
Yeah.
a copper fountain, turned uh, a shade of green, of ancient green. Something about it makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand on end.
Now, for those who are like, "You're standing in water, isn't this incredibly dangerous?"
That's what I was
Well, as it
thinking.
turns out, if you're in a large enough body of water, the electricity gets dispersed across the entire area,
Oh,
and so it's not too bad.
so it might only deal one damage
If you
instead
if you're
of.
just if you're just in the water, you might take like a point of like lightning damage.
Okay.
If you get hit by it directly, though, that's a whole different thing. If
Oh,
anything, I would be more willing to say like if you are in the area when it goes off, you just lose your reactions. Like you got hit by a shocking grasp,
oh,
so
so
you got
it's
like that. So it doesn't hurt, but you got like that like little
locks you up,
jolt. Yeah.
locks your. Okay. So do we want to like put a trigger point down somewhere, or like adjacent
Um.
to the fountain, or like that, or something?
Hmm. Yeah. I think adjacent to the fountain's good. I like that.
Okay. If
And
players
basically make it a deck save to avoid.
adjacent to the fountain or try to touch it, it activates. Anyone in the room who is touching water is feels a violent jolt that makes them lose their reaction for the turn. Anyone adjacent to the fountain must make a dexterity. What do you think? 14?
15, I think.
15 saving throw or take how much damage? 3d6 damage?
Yeah, 3d6 is a good amount.
Lightning damage. Okay, so I want to put a history check. History DC, let's say 15. This feature was built for security and would have previously operated with a larger range that would have covered the entire room, essentially locking off parts, locking off a part of the palace in electric death.
And you can see too that from 23, having 13 blocked off would mean you'd have to go the long way around to get towards the center.
So it's like it's decorative and practical.
Yep. It means you have to defend only like one side,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
which is a huge benefit in a case of a theoretical invasion.
Okay, in that case, essentially locking off a part of the palace in electric death to create a choke point for the building. Alright, yeah, so obviously this thing has been activated somehow. Players can probably disable it. Do we want to give players like a way to disable it before they even approach this thing or notice that it's a trap?
Well, I mean, technically there's a way to disable it in room number 1.
Yeah, no, I know that, but like,
Some other
okay,
way to deal with it.
you know what? I'll put
Um,
a investigation
well,
check or
yeah.
perception DC. Let's say 14.
Mm-hmm.
There are dead. What do you call it? Scalded fish. What's the
Yep.
word? Scalded.
Like, you can even say, like, burnt looking fish or boiled fish.
Burnt slash boiled fish near the fountain.
Yeah, just make that a. I think that one could just be a perception check,
Yeah,
no
right.
investigation.
Okay. I do want to do something for like the thieves, so like maybe like investigation DC. Like let's make it 18.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no. We'll make it part of history. Um, these things aren't traditional leave and forget traps. Aren't traditional leave and forget traps, and were usually activated or disabled from a remote place
Location. Yeah.
location.
Yeah, that gives you a hint that somewhere else in this palace is a way to turn off
Stop
potentially
it.
this trap and others.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm. I like that. I like that.
From a remote location. Okay. So we've got 13 done,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna put the circle on the GM layer just so we know, but the players don't know. Room 14.
I feel like, if anything, that room 14, 100% filler room.
Filler room. Okay, so what color is that? That is a
White.
white circle. Okay.
Because,
Clips.
like, this is the room before the boss fight with Sasha, who we will need to get a token for eventually.
Okay.
But I like the idea of maybe there's just like maybe just like some painting on the wall or something, like,
Okay.
just being like center this way.
Okay. So, I think the idea of putting like a painting in room 14 is a fantastic idea. And wait, hang on. Is that circle on the... Which layer is that circle on? Oh, it's still token
It's
layer.
not on the right. There we go. But
Yeah.
yeah, just like the idea of putting like it could be, we could do both decorations and like some bandit thing, because like I just like the idea of it just being like there's an arrow there or something that just like indicates, someone has been here beforehand and has put a marker suggesting, potentially someone may or may not be on the other side of the next door who could, be important.
Mm, 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 mm. Um, I was originally thinking of putting like bandits here, to be honest. But now that I think about it,
I
maybe
put the
even...
bandits in room 15, if anything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I think you're absolutely right. I think in that case, room 14. Um, I'm gonna... You know what? How about instead of just a utility room, we have it as a pseudo rest site as well. So the idea for
Yeah.
me, anyways, is... Let me get the right color. There we go. Is that it's probably can't be used as a long rest site, but it can probably be used as a breather.
Short rester.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So layer, GM layer, and we're going to make it very explicit. So room 14, while waterlogged, this area seems relatively secure with thick doors on the with a thick set of with a noticeably thicker set of doors to the next room. Not even noticeable thick doors. Noticeably thick and ornate set of doors to the next room.
Yep.
The waterlogged condition of the area stops it from being a proper rest area, but it's shallow enough that okay, what's the word, like where you have like the instinct, or like you instinctively know that it's a safe place? How would you describe that, or what words would you use?
I don't think. What words did you use exactly for like pro area? But it's shallow enough that you could just say that one could use it to rest up for a short while.
One could use
without it being too uncomfortable.
To rest up for a short while. Short moment while standing and leaning against the walls. There we go. So this area can be used for a short rest. There we go.
Yeah. I think that works.
One side of the wall has a single... Okay, wait. The walls of this room have... What do you call those, like... You know when you leave like a poster up and then you take it off and there's like, it leaves the markings behind that was once there? What do you call that? Residue, or?
It's more of like lack of residue, really.
True.
Or like you could say that the room has signs that things were taken from it.
The walls have signs and outlines. Wait, the walls are filled with the outlines of what were once paintings, frames, and portraits, leaving only one. Would you like them to leave one, or would you like to say all the paintings are gone?
Ooh. Well, it's like if they leave one, you don't have to ask the question, why did they leave it? No, I think just have them take them all.
Okay, the walls are filled with the outlines of once paintings, frames, and portraits. I'll just say once paintings.
Yeah. What things? That's easy enough.
Do we want to do like history check or perception check or investigation check for like hidden loot or something like that? Or just historical ideas?
No, I think this should just be a simple room that's like, it's been looted. So that's just someone came through here who's looting. And that, well, like as I said, I want like the red arrow or something, like, or a short message.
You want a what? Sorry? A message of
Like,
what?
like a short message being like, all members come this way once you're done looting or something.
Okay.
So I want that little bit of extra indication that there is someone on the other side of the doors.
Oh, you know what? I'll do you one better. They're in a crude chalk. Wait. In crude... What's the black thing in crude charcoal writing upon the wall? It says, "Do not disturb Sasha while she is taking down the magic wall." She will call for us later.
I actually kind of like that.
Yeah,
Like,
so it gives the players an idea of what's going on. So, like,
Sasha's casting, we shall ahead. Don't interrupt.
yeah.
Yeah.
I also want to put a bit of graffiti. There is
Yeah.
a smaller bit of charcoal writing that says, seriously, do not go in. She will set you on fire. There we go. Alright, so I want to put like history DC check, and I'm not going to make it too hard. History DC 12. All the outlines of the missing paintings are very uniform portraits, indicating that these were pictures of people of whom who can say possibly the rulers here, maybe family members, who knows? Nobody knows because they're not there. Okay.
Nice and simple.
Okay, da-da-da. And you know what? I want to do like a perception check as well here. Perception DC, let's say 12. We won't make it very hard. 10. Perception DC 10. Players can hear soft, muffled swearing on the other side of the door, indicating that whoever is there isn't making much progress. So, like, to give them an idea that,
Yeah, I like that.
like, oh, we have time to rest, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, alright, I think number 14 is good. Shall we move on to number 15?
Yeah. So,
I think you
I
had an idea
believe,
for this.
well, I believe we already kind of said it out loud. It was like 14's a restroom, 15 has bandits.
Absolutely.
So, let's go over what kind of bandits we have access to. Because we got Base Bandit.
Mm-hmm.
We have Thug.
Mm-hmm.
So we have the Bandit Wizard from Sasha. Father Giovanni has the Bandit Spies. Vodos doesn't have any bandits to provide, and Wolf does not have any bandits associated with him at the moment.
Ah, we did want to put in the Wolf Raiders, didn't we?
Yes. So, because at the moment, it's like what we could do is be like the thugs. Because like I always kind of associated the thugs with Father Giovanni.
Mm-hmm.
He has the spies and then the thugs.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
And I suggested earlier on when we first made Wolf of using berserkers with him.
Berserkers, yeah, you mentioned that. What do they
Because
look like?
technically, I'm currently using a berserker stat block for Wolf, though he's a lot more tanky than
I
the average
mean,
one.
yeah, I was gonna say like he's gonna level up anyways, so
Yeah. But a berserker is like a CR2 baddie.
okay, that's not too
They,
bad for the players
they
rater.
are, yeah, with the idea of like um Wolf's raiders are very strong and just ultra stupid.
Oh yes, very much so.
In that case, let me just see if I can't get the berserker.
I have the perfect idea for them then. how to introduce them. Like, this will be the first
Yeah.
time the players are meeting them. They're
Yep.
going to be at the door, over here,
Mm-hmm.
with a boot off trying to dry it. On the only dry area here, besides the stones. So when the players open the door, it'll be to the back of this berserker guy complaining loudly.
Yep. Ooh. Okay. So, I just chucked up the 24 version.
Oh?
And the 24 version is actually different from how the 14 version works. So I'm going to throw up the 14 version as well. And we can discuss which one of the two we like, because, you know, they are technically compatible. So,
Okay.
how the 2014 version Berserker works is basically he has reckless attack. He can get advantage on his attacks, but attackers have advantage on him. The newer version, the 2024 version,
Has no
it,
downside.
it doesn't have a downside. Well, its downside is he only gets advantage while bloodied.
I see. Okay, so it activates later.
So he acts like a sort of mini boss type power level.
Okay. I think I prefer, like, based on how you describe them, like they're strong but stupid. I think I prefer reckless.
Yeah, reckless attack. Okay, so we'll use the we will use the 2014 version. Cool. Wolf at the moment is using the same token, but we can sort that out later when we get proper tokens for all of our major baddies.
Sure. Alright, so I'll write down in 15. Before even entering the room, players can hear them all discussing how Sasha is taking forever to get past the the magic wall, and how boring guard duty is. And then I will put in a perception check. Perception DC, let's say 12. One of the complaining voices. Oh, wait. They're also complaining about. Okay, so they're discussing how Tasha is taking forever to get past magic wall. About how boring guard duty is. And how much they all hate the water. So DC 12, one of the complaining voices is leaning against the door leading to this room.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, I also want to make. Cause I've renamed the guy to Wolf's Raider rather than Berserker, and I was thinking I want to adjust something on him.
Oh, what do you want to do?
These guys are stupid, right?
Are you changing his intelligence?
Well, his intelligence is already 9 by default.
Oh, so he's
So
already really dumb.
He's already dumb. But I was actually thinking of changing out his Great Axe to a Great Club.
Oh, okay.
It'll make him slightly weaker overall.
But it fits the whole dumb thing a lot more.
Yeah, it fits just the dumb brute, just that little bit of extra of like we decided we didn't want them to have sharp objects.
Oh, that would be bludgeoning then, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Yep, I got it. Bludgeoning damage.
Yeah.
Oh.
So this helps kind of it brings their power level down slightly, but I think it's thematically a bit better.
No, I like that. I like it. And then actual Wolf would have a proper axe and everything.
Yeah. So I remember joking about the fact that Wolf is stupid as well, but he's at least smart enough to be upset about the fact that Wolf's Raiders are spell his name wrong and stuff.
It's pretty funny.
So, yeah.
Okay, alright. So once they beat up all these guys, they can loot the room, whatever.
hmm
Ooh, do we want to make it so one of the bandits will try, like, if everyone goes down, they'll try to raise the alarm?
They'll try to go for.
Sasha, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Okay, alright, in that case, if all bandits are killed except one, the remaining survivor will try to make a run for it and to room 12 and warn Sasha what's going on. There we go.
Cool.
Okay. So that way it's like they have to like try and get there soon enough, sort of thing. Okay. I'm just gonna make a note here. For Sasha, actually, room number 12. Ba-ba-da-ba. If there are sounds of fighting in room 14, I think it was. Yes, room 14. Sasha will assume that the bandits are being stupid and yell at them to shut up and let me concentrate.
Yep.
There we go.
Cool.
So at no point in this does she try to investigate things on her own or think things are
No.
anything but okay.
I mean, she has a full detachment of bandits and freaking like devils here.
Oh
Like,
yes.
from her perspective, it's like I have this place under wraps,
On
super well.
lockdown. Nothing's going on while I'm here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So
let me just double check
one,
how many rooms have bandits in them. So obviously, you've got Sasha. We'll count that. One, two, uh, kind of three if you count room number 8 and the devil.
yeah.
And
Well,
then
we should
there's
consider the bandits and the devils as one faction.
yeah. Okay, so one, two, three, four
4.
rooms out of 23 so
That's
far.
right. I want that. I would say we should try to get that at least to 6.
Okay, 6. So we should at
Having
least
having
two
having
more.
control of at least having control of at least a quarter of the rooms, I think, is a pretty good. Like, yeah, we've got this place decently solid at the moment.
Lockdown and such like that. Okay, okay. And it kind of makes sense that it's mostly these bottom rooms that are locked down rather than the northern rooms, which aren't as
Yeah.
important to them
Yep.
because they don't think anyone's going to come in through number 5, for example. Okay.
Yeah.
So what are we doing with room number 16, do you think?
Well, if you can see here, 16's got some interesting things. First off, in between 16 and 15,
Oh,
saw
yep.
blades. And then there's a bunch of these statues, which we identified as treasure guardians last time.
Yeah.
So I think
Do we
potentially being a kind of mixture of trap and combat.
do we want to make them inactive or faulty treasure guardians?
Well, I think making them I think they are inactive,
Oh,
and
yes.
that is part of the trap.
Okay, yeah, so you know what? I like that. I like that a lot. All right, let me just put the circles down then.
hmm
We
But
have to.
also,
I do want to make sure that there's a good explanation why the bandits over there,
I've
without like
gotten started.
destroying, yeah, how they got
Well,
past these
I
guys.
mean, it's like we have a competent bandit leader who's gone through, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It's like we have to make it discernible that there's like some sort of path to take.
sure, sure, sure.
But also, it is we've been doing this for a bit. Do we want to stop here and just like get to it next time?
You know what? I'm gonna add one more circle to this, just to add.
Oh,
Yep.
oh.
and it's the reason why they haven't been activated yet. Yellow, which means it's a loot room.
As well. Okay.
Can you see where I'm going with this?
I mean, they're treasure guardians, right?
Yep, and the reason why they haven't activated is because nobody has tried looting the room because they figured out, oh, this is
This screams trap so goddamn hard.
exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, go on, try to take this thing. What are you gonna do? Oh, hang on, I can't rotate this thing without. No,
Oh god.
it's too big. Yeah, for some reason it won't let me rotate it because the circles are getting in the way. There we go. I just had to zoom in.
Yeah.
There we go. I think you can see what I'm getting at here.
Yep.
Yep. So the chests don't even need to have that much stuff in them. Like, it could be like 5 or 10 gold. You know, essentially just schmuck bait.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm gonna write that out in number 16. The room is filled with inactive treasure guardians and several chests. Several unopened chests. Unopened chests. And then I'll make it like insight DC 15. The chests are unopened for a reason. Pinned for a reason, despite this palace being invaded by bandits. This is clearly a trap for greedy people. Probably not worth it. And then if they do decide to take the chest, we'll say each chest contains what do you want to say?
Between 1 to 3 gold pieces.
1, 2, 3 gold pieces. Schmuck bait. And I'll say treasure guardians will all activate an attack if the chests are disturbed. There we go. Oh, no, you know what? If the chests are disturbed.
There are a lot of statues in this room.
Oh, yes.
How about it should be like 1d6 treasure guardians?
Okay.
Because if it's the full amount, that could mean someone's greed could potentially cause a lot of trouble.
Okay, in that case,
with 11 statues around.
We'll say 1d6 treasure will activate and attack for each chest that is disturbed.
Yep.
There we go.
And there's 11 total.
So yeah, on average, like there's 5. Yeah, all of them will most like even if you roll minimum, and then we can just say the rest are like, okay, I'll just put it in brackets. If any treasure column remains, okay, wait, when the last, okay, wait, if there are any remaining treasure guardians when the last chest is disturbed, activate them all. So like, just for example, if you eat every single one of them, you roll a 1 on them, and you only get like 4 treasure golems, and then you get the last one, every single last one of them will activate. So regardless,
Okay. What if each treasure chest is schmuck bait, but if you open all 5,
at the same
actual
time,
treasure. Well, if you've opened all 5,
yep,
then a like secret little like thing in the wall pops out and an actual important thing is there.
Oh, I would say the floor, but yes.
Yeah,
Um,
floor works just fine.
if every chest is opened, then a recess in the floor opens up, draining the water from the room, but also revealing a final a final smaller, thinner chest containing. Okay, let me think. So I think the ultimate question is, what's in this secret chest? This smaller.
Yeah, like I think something really cool should be in there. I considered for a while if it was like, do I want a potion? Do I want some money? No, I think like yes, we've put plenty in here already. I think a magic item should be in here,
Mm.
but I think it should not be like a weapon.
I put the thingy down here, by the way, on the GM layer. Let me just pull out the notable items thing to like just see what we've already got. So we've got nature, a hand axe, another weapon, a utility pearl thingy, another utility thing. Something I'm seeing that we're missing. We've got one, two
Mm-hmm.
technically. All right, we don't have any shields. We have a couple of armors, so not very much, and one of them
Yeah.
is like a temporary thing. So I'm thinking either armor or a shield, possibly.
Well, I was considering maybe something like defensively, yeah, like a braces of defense potentially.
Okay, okay.
Or
Braces.
one of my personal favorite is the brooch of shielding.
Oh, brooch of shield. Okay, and it can fit in something that's small. Okay. Okay. A smaller chest containing a brooch of shielding. How does a brooch of shielding work?
Well, the thing is, I'm not too sure if it's appropriate, but I love it. But the brooch of shielding is really simple. While you wear the brooch,
Yep.
you are resistant to force damage, and you
Oh.
are immune to damage from the magic missile spell. Which is
Oh.
like, which I'm like, I love it. It's one of my favorite magic items. I don't know if it's going to be good for this.
In that case, how about instead of a brooch of shielding, ring of fire resistance?
Ring of Fire Resistance.
Mm-hmm.
I could agree to that. That'd be cool.
Okay. So, ring of fire resistance. Does it do exactly what we think it does, like by the words? Like it just
Yes.
provides resistance to fire?
Yep. While you're attuned to the ring, you have resistance to fire.
Kraken's Pearl uh, Palace. Kraken's Pearl Palace. So did you say while you're attuned to it or while you're wearing?
I believe that it is attunement based.
Okay.
I'm just quickly going through the book trying to find it. Ring of Resistance. Yes, requires attunement.
An attunement takes like 10 minutes, right? A short rest.
Yeah.
Ring. Uh, the creature gains resistance to fire. There we go. Alright, that's
That's
nice
nice
and
because,
simple,
like, if you attune to it before the end of this dungeon, you'll probably get some use out of it. Because we have
regardless.
two enemies or two boss battles which do involve fire coming up.
And of course, you have devils and whatnot, so it's going to
Hmm.
be useful no matter what. Alright, I think that's the end of this episode. My name is Freebewits, and this is my good friend Sai, both of us signing off. Bye bye.
Yeah. Ciao.